Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Pretend Problems podcast. I'm Mark Marin.
Oh, you stole my thing. I'm Bernie Mac.
Is that one of the people you want to meet?
No.
Oh, okay. We're going to do a middle segment later about people who are no longer living that we'd like to have dinner with or just meet.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Mine, weirdly, are no comedians.
I was going to think if there were, but I thought there might be on your list.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there probably should be now that I think about it. But you, man, when you have 5 people,
I know.
well, let's talk about it when we get there.
We'll talk about it later, yeah.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm awesome. Today we went to Home Depot, and we said, as John Panette used to say, nay, nay. We said nay, nay to a grill situation, getting a cover that wasn't going to fit just for ease. We said no to I love Home Depot, by the way.
Okay.
But we said no to some patio furniture.
Yeah.
And then we went over to Lowe's, 1.9 miles away, as the crow flies. Because actually then when you start driving, it's 3.6. I don't have patience for that. But.
What is happening?
But we went over there and we found everything we needed.
Yeah, I think this is part of me getting older, is realizing that I have a power ranking of home improvement stores, and Lowe's is number 1 now. I didn't think I cared at all about that, but I walked into Lowe's. I was like, oh, this is way fucking better than Home Depot.
By the way, we hadn't walked in yet. We were in the entry where the carts were, and she goes, I like this setup better.
It just smelled better, looked nicer.
I mean, I do love a Lowe's.
Yeah.
They have the Blackstones and they have the good stuff.
It was nice.
You got an egg chair. We both fit in it.
I know.
Which I was happy
about.
living
our best patio life. I'm excited.
It's going to be good.
Yeah. Should we talk about some things that happened this past week?
I would love to.
Okay. So I was in Sacramento over the weekend. Thank you to any of you wonderful listeners who came out to the shows. I got to meet so many of you in the merch line. It was really awesome. I decided to ask on stage if anybody had a gross childhood food that they thought could top mayo and Wonder Bread, since that was such a huge topic of conversation last episode. And man, we've got some broken people in Sacramento. People were shouting things out that really concerned everybody. One guy up front said peanut butter and tomato sandwiches. And I found out that later he was escorted out. And so that to me all adds up. That's
Yep.
I called him a feral raccoon. I said, I don't understand why. I mean, that doesn't make sense. That's not a flavor combination that makes sense. At least mayo and Wonder Bread is the start of a sandwich. Peanut butter and tomato
It's not finished. We had a lot of comments on last episode, and a lot of them were this, which I found interesting. Kelsey said, I love Wonder Bread and mayo. And then a lot of people would go, me too, but plus cheese. Well, guess what? That's not me too.
Yeah.
This feels a lot like the original Me Too movement. There's a lot of people jumping on that don't need to be here. And you're making it difficult for the people that love just mayo and Wonder Bread, because you don't get cheese with it. That's not what she's saying. That's like going, oh, you know what? I could be poor for a month. Me too, plus $1 million. That's what I'd like to do. I had somebody tell me in the Milwaukee line, we're not done with yours yet, but I was in Milwaukee, same thing. Tons of people saying they listen to the podcast. Thank you for coming. One guy goes, Fruity Pebbles and Cool Whip. How in the fuck is that disgusting?
Well, and then
it sounds awesome.
How do you eat that though?
What do you mean? How don't you eat it?
I just am saying that threw
weapon.
me off, because you're thinking cereal, but then you're thinking Cool Whip, and that's not like a liquid. I don't know. It just
you snowball that shit right up and you shove it in your face.
I guess so.
Yeah.
When there's a will, there's a way. So yeah, I had mentioned on stage that I thought the more disturbing comments was that somebody said they like hot dogs with cinnamon sugar. And again, it's like, that's a sweet and a savory in a way that I felt sick to my stomach reading it. That seems not right to me.
Right. I used to make summer sausage slices, Oscar Mayer. We'd put butter on it for fat, and then sugar on it.
For fat, as if the summer sausage doesn't have fat.
For some better fat.
Okay, and then
we sprinkle some sugar on it, and then we'd roll it up and eat it. Now, you may think, This wasn't on your 5 things that you liked.
Stop that.
You're right, because I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because they were the only 3 things we had in the house. Oh. So that's what we had to eat for an entire summer when we were off of school.
Okay.
And I will tell you, not horrible. You put sugar on anything, it's pretty good.
Oy. There's a lot in that bothers me, just texturally. Granulated sugar and cold butter on cold meat.
Yeah.
It just sounds crunchy and bad and not. But you know what? I'm not going to do it. You're saying that's all you had. So
it was all we had.
That's a different thing. Then.
Yeah. I'm glad that you weren't like, a lot of this bothers me, because I was going to be like, my mother was working as hard as she could.
Yeah, I was
working 3 jobs.
Very careful to not go that direction with it.
Thank you, Wardo. We appreciated you.
Yes.
Still do.
Karen, you're great. So anyway, that was fun to start bringing the podcast on stage and hearing about stuff in the merch line. I also had, you guys know I like to share interesting merch line interactions with you. I wore a cardigan on stage that, is it the most flattering thing I own? No. Is it like a socially acceptable robe to wear out of your house? I think so.
I think so too.
And I don't think I'm on the brink of another depressive episode, but just sometimes when I'm on the road and I'm feeling far from home, I just want to feel cozy, and this sweater cardigan thing is nice. Yeah. Anyway, I was on stage giving, kind of just like roasting myself for what I was wearing. I said I looked like I had birdseed in my pockets because this cardigan is, it's just not. It's not great.
That's great.
Thank you. And a couple came up to me in the merch line, and the woman said, sincerely, "Did you mean to wear that sweater, or was it an accident?" I was like, yeah, nobody had a gun to my head when I bought and wore this sweater. I just thought asking me if it was an accident was so funny. Like I ran into an old woman and got tangled in her cardigan and then didn't realize until I was on stage.
I'm running from the cops. Switch outfits with me.
Yeah. Like it was a car crash. Like I didn't see the sweater coming. Like
Freaky Friday.
Yeah. Anyway, didn't know how to respond to that. I was like, well, that's hurtful, but that's fine. Keep moving.
What was she wearing? Let's get down to it.
Yeah.
Let's really start the roast.
I don't recall.
Don't you? I think you do. I think it's burned in your memory, and you don't want me to have that information because you know it's going to happen. I'm going to take it too far, and this person might be watching, and then now all of a sudden you feel bad.
It doesn't have to be mean for mean. It just, it just was. But anyway. And then the other thing I want to talk about is that one of Chad's very generous birthday presents to me was a gift card to Aura Ring. And because these puppies are real fucking expensive, but it's like you're wearing a robot on your finger. Yeah.
First of all, she had been talking about an Aura Ring for a very long time. I wasn't like, how about you track your period? Woo woo! Happy birthday! You had been talking about it for a long time.
Yes, it's an amazing gift. So anyway, I finally pulled the trigger and got an Aura Ring. If you don't know what they are, I'm wearing one right now on YouTube. It has technology in it that tracks your sleep, it tracks your activity during the day, and it gives you a score, and it can track your body temperature, so it can track when they think your period's coming and all that stuff. But anyway, I'm kind of a champion sleeper, and I don't like to talk about it too much on the podcast because I don't want Chad to feel bad, because we know
it was amazing.
Yeah, I woke up, I wore it for the first time last night. I had a sleep score of 93 out of 100. Am I an overachiever in every category in life? Yeah, straight A student still at 35. Killing it.
Interesting. I've won the belt 5 times in a row for the games. I will say, but it was. I read all the stats on your sleep today.
Yeah.
And I was A, impressed, and B, so jealous because I'm also going to get one, and I know that it is going to be not great. It's going to be like, it's just going to say, do you work third shift when I do it? But it's going to be, it also, you're supposed to wear it on your index finger. So you get, the rings are expensive, but they do come with a download card for Limp Bizkit songs. So you will be able to do it all for the nookie. Come on, the nookie. Come on, so you can get a cookie? Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
I don't know if those are the words, but...
No. And if you're worried if it's going to work, you just got to have faith.
Ooh, that's good. I don't know any more Limp Bizkit songs.
And you're like, what are the other Limp Bizkit songs?
I am out of that one.
But I'm glad that we can be in together now.
Yeah.
That's another Limp Bizkit. That's
Oh,
Limp
it is?
Bizkit.
Oh, I thought you were being sincere.
Well,
I thought she was being sincere. Should we talk about tour dates?
That's always the go-to on the pod.
Should we talk about tour dates?
Anyway, we're not sponsored by Oura Ring, but I've been loving it so far. It's so cool to see like how long your REM is, and I don't know. It tells you if you have sleep apnea. Basically, it said I have good blood oxygen levels when I sleep.
I'm in such deep shit.
I can't wait. This is like, stay tuned, because when Chad gets it, he's gonna get one soon. I think it's gonna be interesting to see.
I'm gonna be like, where are all my stats? And then at the bottom, there's just an asterisk that says, if you don't achieve certain levels, we do not even bother telling you. Get to sleep. Dippy. Ooh, Dippy. That's okay.
Dippy.
That's a good one. That's okay one.
Yeah. Tell me what's going on with you. Did you want to share any stories from this past week, or do you want to get into our segment?
I don't think I have. I went to Civil War, the movie.
The movie, yeah.
Civil War, and the trailer, deceiving.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was going to be all about one thing, and it turns out that was a very small scene, my favorite scene, because that's what I thought it was going to be about. But still really good, because it does feel like, walking home, I was like, we are at any time 6 months away from what we just watched.
Whoa.
So it is kind of wild to think about.
Okay.
But I don't have any cool, funny stories.
Oh, okay.
If that's what you're hoping for.
Well,
we've been talking about a lot of my potential mental health stuff all week, so I'm not sure I have any great funny stories. I'm tired.
Well, you don't have to get into any of that right now.
Oh, I will once I do this stuff.
Yeah. If you want to go listen to this week's Middle of Somewhere episode, Chad talks about some of it there. And I think I have
some stuff with letters.
Some stuff.
Potential with letters. Potential. There might be something to do with a spectrum. I don't know. All I know is I am tired of being grumpy when I'm in the car. Mm-hmm. That's all I know. Mm-hmm. So we're going to figure it out. And then I'm going to bring all the results here. And it's going to be... And then come see my new hour, because it's going to be fucking lights out.
Yeah. You were so nice on the road today.
I was nice on the road today. And by the way, when I said chode, did you hear me say chode? Mm-hmm. I was talking to myself.
Oh, I didn't know that.
How about that?
I did not know that.
Because there was a guy, I was merging onto the interstate, and there was a guy with a truck and a trailer. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I knew he was going faster than me, but then I had the thought, I don't want to be behind a truck and a trailer, so I'm going to speed up. But all that did was put us right next to each other with the merge lane coming to an end. Yeah. And I had to hit my brakes to get behind him, and that was on me. And so I called myself a chode. I thought I did very, very nice. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Who are you?
I don't know. Maybe I only have AD. Maybe I only have the first half. I don't know.
It's not in high def.
Yeah, perhaps not. I'm old. We just have 3 channels at AD.
Oh, heavens. Okay. Well, let's do some tour dates, and then we'll do our middle segment. And then, God, we've got good questions this time, guys. Okay. You guys keep sending in such fucking good questions. Okay, so tour dates. This weekend, I'm going to be in Salt Lake City at Wise Guys, one of the best clubs. I can't wait. And then I'm going to be... Yes. And then I'm going to be at Wise Guys in Vegas. Never been to their club there. Hopefully it's fun.
I think it will be.
Ticket sales, not great, but hopefully good time. We'll see if those sales pick up. Denver at Comedy Works, where I shot The Hustler, also one of my favorite clubs of all time. And then Kansas City, the Burt Tour with Chad. And then Charlotte, Raleigh. We had to move Indianapolis, as some of you guys know. So sorry, we're still getting that figured out. And then, God, I really got to get these fall dates memorized. It's Omaha, Fort Collins, Phoenix, Providence, Dania Beach, San Antonio. Ooh, help. What's the other Texas one?
I don't know. Houston?
No.
Austin. There
Yes.
we go. I knew it was a stun.
There's one more. Will you read yours while I think of what my other one is?
Yep. I'm going to leave the frame for a second. This probably isn't professional, but I'm going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. Then I'm going to be in Cincinnati. What?
Why are you leaving the frame?
Because I'm going to read off the chart.
Off the calendar.
I'm going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm going to be in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm going to be in Austin, Texas. That's all in May. Then in June, I'm going to be in Springfield, Missouri, and on the Burt Tour with you. Then in July, I'm going to be in Detroit. Then I'm taking August off. Don't fucking worry about it. I got plans. Then September, I'm going to be in Spokane and Tampa. October, I am going to be in Madison and Columbus. November, I am going to be in Denver, San Francisco, and Sacramento. December, I'm going to be in Salt Lake City and Vegas, just like you, kind of coming up. I'm very excited about those dates.
Awesome. The one that I missed was Baltimore area, Timonium, Magoobies and Timonium. KelseyCook.com for tickets. ChadDaniels.com for tickets.
That's right. Where is Timonium on the periodic chart? Do you know?
I think it's right next to iodine.
That's right.
And chromium.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Should we get into our middle segment?
Let's do it.
I like how we're just calling it. I think that's what like the official name of it is.
The middle segment.
The middle segment. Yeah. You guys know we've been doing different questions for each other, and this is like a classic, but we've never asked each other this. Mm-hmm. And we thought it'd be fun to talk about on the podcast. If you could have a dinner party with 5 people who have passed away, or not a dinner party, but just like if you wanted to meet and have a conversation with.
Okay.
5 people who have passed away.
I didn't know that they were going to have to be at the same dinner table.
Oh.
Because this is not going to go great.
Okay, whatever. Just 5 people that you would like to meet and have a conversation with. Who would they be? So what is your list?
You want me to go first?
Sure, yeah.
Number 1 and 2, tied for number 1 and 2.
Okay.
And this is probably cheesy, but my grandpa and grandma.
My grandma's on mine.
Okay. Yep. So my grandpa and grandma.
Wow.
Yep. I would love. Then that can be at the same dinner table.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then Martin Luther King Jr.
Great one.
I'd love to know how he did it.
Yeah.
How he said, peacefulness is going to get this done. Mm-hmm. I don't understand that. I don't have that in my Rolodex. And then you think Gandhi, like, he was really peaceful. He did a hunger strike, but it's like, yeah, but he did that to himself. He chose to do a hunger strike.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King Jr. and people that marched with him took beatings, were killed, and still he was like, nope, turn the other cheek. That is fucking wild to me. I would love to talk to him about that. And then, oh my God. Oh, Anne Frank.
Yeah, great one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to just chit chat with her, of course, for so many reasons.
Oh my gosh,
and then I wouldn't mind getting Jesus Christ on the line.
Whoa.
I think a lot of people have some questions.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be that person that asks quite a few of them.
Man, your list is good. If you could have 6, can I tell you who I think your 6th would be?
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain.
Interesting. I don't think it would be. I think that's when we get into, it could be a musician. It could be John Lennon.
Yep.
It could be Elvis Presley.
Yep.
But then I think it would probably be Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
I think that's who I would pick for 6. So it just took a while to get to comedians, but.
Yeah. God, that's a good list.
Thank you.
I'd like to steal a few of those too. Mine is, I went over by 2. Is that okay?
Wow.
Please. Okay.
Is that why you said, let me guess who your 6th is? Because you have 7?
No.
Unbelievable.
Okay. So my grandma is also on mine.
Yep.
She died when I was 9. And I just wish I could have gotten to know her more as an adult.
Absolutely, of course.
She was a boss bitch. Yeah. Einstein.
Oh. Yep.
I think that would be a pretty fascinating person to have a conversation with. Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, like what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
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 I thought about her for a little bit. Einstein for me, You know, we don't need two people with letters at the same table talking to each other. How did you figure out this puzzle? I don't know, Einstein. My fucking brain is broken. I'm not sure. I see puzzles fine, and then other shit is not. Awesome.
I go to escape rooms by myself.
I get out of an escape room by myself, but you put me in traffic and mother of fuck. I start losing my mind. Sorry, I'm yelling.
Yeah, I really, those sort of like Bermuda Triangle, anything like that where there's just so much mystery surrounding it.
Yeah.
I can spend hours online reading because I'm just fascinated by that and want to figure it out. I have listened to the Serial podcast, season 1, 5 times. Because I'm just so determined that I will hear something that somebody hasn't and solve the mystery of who killed Heyman Lee.
That's so fun. Can you hear me yelling in the gym sometimes? Mm-mm. Okay, so we have like a workout area in our house, and I watch Suits when I'm exercising. Yeah. So I will be like on the bench press, and I'll be yelling, "Objection!" leading the witness, like I'm screaming it. I'm like, I know you're writing a show and probably all the writers aren't lawyers. I'm not a lawyer either, but I fucking know what's what. You can't just make the law not happen because it's become a soap opera. I'm in the last season.
Okay.
It's become very convoluted and kind of a soap opera, but I think it's a great show, and it's when you need it for background.
Yeah.
Awesome. But I just find myself screaming or going like, well, here's what you should have done. Here's a case you should have used. I saw it on Law and Order. Completely freaking out.
Just going Goodwill hunting on it. Like you've read the books and know.
Oh no, I'm talking about like you think you're going to solve the case.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Same thing for me.
I just can't stop. Okay. Amy Winehouse.
Interesting. What would you ask? Or you just want to hang?
I think I would just like to, I just am fascinated by her and how talented she is. Like I would wonder if she would sing for me. Probably not. She probably doesn't want to just sing for me, but I just think
I brought you back from the dead. Now dance, monkey.
I think her brain is interesting, and my heart breaks for her and her, the addictions and all that.
Sure.
Brittany Murphy.
Now, what would you ask her?
Well, it's not so much like what would I ask her. These are people who I'm so in awe of, and I thought that she was such an incredibly talented actress.
Absolutely. And
I think I would want to know like what was really going on with you, because I watched the documentary about her death, and there was so much mystery and kind of like not foul play, but there just seems like there was a lot going on. Anyway,
I think you'd ask about getting fucked up against the Stacks by Eminem. I know you're a big Eminem fan. We talk about it all the time. 16 years sober, by the way.
Whoa.
Eminem, 16 years sober.
Good for him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your son is staying with us last week, and he goes, it's just sitting at the dinner table. He goes, "Did you guys hear that Eminem had a heart attack?" And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "I'm just kidding." He goes, "Sometimes I just have like intrusive thoughts, and I just say them." And I was like, "Dude."
Gets that from the old man.
I was going to say.
Why were you going to say that? Stop.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I know.
It's so genetic with you guys. Just saying something, you're like, what? And then I'm just kidding.
You always say that I'm not going to have a tombstone.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to get cremated. But on my tombstone, it would say Chad, just kidding, Daniels. I think I've gotten a lot better at that.
Yeah. In very recent times. But you'll kind of go on kicks.
Oh.
Sometimes you'll like have a day where I'm like, oh my God, I can't. I feel like I fall for everything.
I guess I thought we were working towards progress, not perfection in this house, but God. I guess I was wrong. Who else is on your fucking list?
My God. Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
That is somebody who I would just love to understand how he did what he did for Dark Knight. 10 Things I Hate About You and Dark Knight are top 10 movies for me. And yeah, I think I'd also want to know too if he knew how he died. If he could confirm that it was confirmed that it was sleeping pills and Like just like a bad drug interaction?
Yeah, I thought it was just
an accidental.
Plus, he had not slept a lot because of Dark Knight.
Oh,
he was trying to like method act. I mean, these are just things I've read. I wasn't like, Heath, wake up.
Yeah,
I wasn't there like, hey, bud.
Yeah.
We got to paint that smile on your face. Get up.
Yeah. See, that stuff, that's when, like sleep stuff, it's so scary because it's like if somebody's not sleeping and then you're taking stuff to help you sleep, I'm always like, what does that do? I don't know. It's scary, but I just hate that I wish that we could have seen what else he was capable of.
Yeah.
The other movies that we don't have. It's tough.
It is sometimes, and people maybe aren't going to like this, but sometimes you wonder if they go on too long, then are they going to be in like Meet the Fockers? You know what I'm saying? Like you look at Taxi Driver, and you look at Raging Bull, and you look at just all of those gangster things.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, my cat has nipples, Greg. Can I milk my cat? And you're like, okay.
You can't speak ill of Meet the Parents. It's a classic. It's so good. Meet the Fockers, sure. I'll give you Meet the Fockers. Meet the Parents.
He is great in it.
He's so good in it.
Yeah, I guess I might have to take that back a little bit because you think of De Niro in like in a comedy thing, and you go, "This is going to be dumb," but he's actually pretty fantastic
so funny.
in it.
So funny. And then the last one is Bob Saget, who was one of my mentors in comedy, and he just was such an incredible and kind human being that I wish I could be around him again and just like really, really thank him for how out of his way he went to help me in the ways that he did. And I mean, so much came out after his death about like what an unbelievable friend, partner, father he was. Like just everybody only had the nicest things to say to him, and I just would want him to know how special that is and how I wish we had more of that. But
yeah, I wish that you considered him a comedian, but I think that this was added after that comment, right? This is added on the fly.
Well, I think of him, of course, I think of him as a comedian, but to me, he's like was one of my mentors.
Sure.
And like an actor and host.
I'd never met him. My favorite thing about him, though, is that he was the dad on Full House, and people came to see him at comedy clubs as the dad on Full House, and he was filthy.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is so great. If I could just have pictures of these fucking pearl-clutching human beings watching him say, I have the words. I'm not going to say them here in case there are kids in the car, but you get it.
Yeah. Yeah, the way I met him, I was in Seattle in the comedy scene there, and he was coming to town to perform at one of the casinos. And his agent or manager had reached out to the club owner there and had said like, hey, we need an opener. Can you submit like 5 tapes or 10 tapes or something like that of local comics? And so I got to have one of the links to a recent set of mine sent to him, and he chose me to open for him, which was like,
that's awesome.
Just even that was so life-changing at the time. I was like, oh my God, what a cool opportunity this is. And when he showed up to the casino, he could see me like way down the hallway, and from all the way back at the other end of the hallway was like, oh my God, you're amazing. You're incredible. And I was like looking over, I was like, who is he talking about? Because I had not even met him yet. And he just, the whole way walking up to me was singing my praises after watching
That's awesome.
this set, and was so kind. And he wrote down his email on a piece of paper after the show and was like, if you are ever in need of anything, this is my email. And I still have that scrap of paper. And he got me my one of my recommendations to do the audition at the Comedy Cellar in New York and the Laugh Factory in Hollywood. And he went on my first podcast, which was like, I mean, so shitty and like not, it's like so, I was just interviewing comedians, and I think he must have known it was not some big podcast, but he did it to be nice and to help me.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
Anyway, this has been a long Bob Saget rant, but I just figured if I'm saying that he was a mentor of mine, to give a little backstory on that. Yeah. But I definitely thanked him a lot when he was alive, but I wish that I could have really been like, you have no idea how much this helps a young comic to have somebody go out of their way like that. And because he was so famous, he didn't need to do anything for anybody. Like nobody would have expected anything of him, I think. But yeah, he was very special.
That's
so
great.
I wish I could see him again. Okay. Well, that got more serious than I meant for it to, but
I'll be introducing myself as Bob Saget from here on out on the podcast. Rewinded back to the days of chillaxing in Las Vegas when I won $32,000 betting on the last place St. Louis Blues, and they ended up coming back. Gambling is fun. I understand that.
Holy crap, that's
but
a lot of money.
Chillaxing on the beach, and all-day fun with spring break on DraftKings Casino. Play exclusive games like Fan Fave Rocket. The excitement is endless. That means, hello, there's no end to it. You can keep playing forever. The vibes are right, and the cash prizes can be huge.
I was hoping you'd say it like that again. It makes me laugh. Okay. Would you like to continue?
New players start playing with just $5 and get 100 back instantly in casino credits. Download the app and use code PRETEND to book your one-way ticket to fun with DraftKings Casino. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In Connecticut, help is available for problems gambling. Call 888-78-97777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus, physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. Eligibility and other restrictions apply. 1 per opted-in new customer. $5 wager required max. $100 in casino credits awarded, which require one-time playthrough within 168 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Restrictions apply.
They do. And if you want to know how I had big enough nuts to make that bet, call 867-530.
All right, guys, back to the show.
Here we go.
If you want to write into the podcast, it is pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com. And we would love to try to give you advice, hear what's going on with you. Stop. If you're not watching on chat or watching on YouTube, Chad mimics what I'm saying. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
This is intense.
Dental decay divorce
is what this is titled.
That's the only thing I can see.
This is titled Dental Decay Divorce. They say, "Hi, Chad and Kelsey. I know everyone starts their emails with how they found you, but honestly, I don't even remember. I just love you both. My reason for writing in, how would you approach this situation? My husband and I have been married for 4 years, and we've known each other for 6. He is the reason I believe in love at first sight.
Whoa.
He has healed my soul in ways I did not know it was broken, and he could not be more perfect to me in any way, ... with one exception. He refuses to go to the dentist. I'm not one to take issue with a person's shape and orientation of teeth, and in those areas, he's honestly fine. It's the color. He has brown spots and visible plaque buildup. He also has sensitivity. He can't even eat a toasted hoagie. The bread is too hard for his teeth."
Toasted hoagie. Okay, so we're somewhere in the Philadelphia area. A toasted hoagie.
A toasted hoagie.
A toasted hoagie.
"By some miracle, his breath doesn't smell. But I fear it's only a matter of time before they start to rot and the stank of decay takes over. His whole family has rotten teeth. One of his brothers literally has black teeth and many are missing or worn down to nubs. I'm sure you're wondering if these are hill people from the mountains of West Virginia. But they're not. These are college-educated, high-earning individuals who have dental insurance."
Did it say high earning?
Yes.
So they're like cold calling people? They're definitely, these aren't face-to-face meetings. Got it.
"His reason for not wanting to go is that he's afraid of all doctors. That's it. I have diagnosed OCD, which comes in the form of catastrophizing every scenario, and my anxiety tells me that his teeth rotting is going to lead to blood poisoning and death. I also worry about the negative effects this could have on his career. He has a very important corporate career that he's so good at, but I don't think he'll be able to achieve the level of leadership he's striving toward if he doesn't even look like he's capable of flossing. Sorry, that's a funny sentence. I also want our daughter to understand that her body is worthy of care, and I really feel that begins with us modeling that behavior for her. I've approached the subject and he has always just said he's not going. How do I express to him how truly important this is to me without body shaming him or making him feel I'm judging him? Help. Oh my gosh. Thank you for writing in. This is a tough one.
This is a lot, and this is a tough one.
Yeah.
Fear of doctors is no joke, right? My daughter, when she's scared of needles, and I had to go with her to the phlebotomist, and she kept ripping that little heroin addict band they put on your arm to get the vein going. Right at the end, she'd rip it off and go away. And it was going to get to the point where the needle would go in and she was going to rip her arm out, and then that would do serious damage.
Whoa. How old was she?
A teenager in high school.
Whoa.
So I think one of the only times I actually swore at my daughter in an aggressive way was there, because I was scared she was going to do self-harm at that point. And I yelled, "Sit the fuck down and stay there." And of course, it is a busy waiting room. There's conversations going on. And all of that stopped. I think the phone even stopped ringing mid-ring. The person was like, "I don't need an appointment this bad. I don't know what's going on with the phlebotomist." But I was scared for her, and she had to get this stuff done.
Yeah.
And so I did kind of lose my cool a little bit. So I understand that the fear of doctors is no joke. What resonates with me in this email is being an example for your daughter and letting her know that self-care is important.
Yeah.
My recommendation is putting some floss around your fingers, coming up behind him gently, right? Maybe you have on like some lingerie. Rub your nips up against his back, and then you put your hands over his head and you go, "Just let me do it. Just let me floss." And if he still says no, piano wire that motherfucker right in the bathroom. Make sure you're near the tub so the blood drains.
Oh my God.
That's all I got for you.
Please have something else besides that. That's so funny. But do you say that the modeling the behavior for the daughter? I think when you bring this up with him, that is such an important thing to say, is like, we're it's not just you and me anymore. It's our daughter that we're setting an example for. Yeah. I'm wondering if you have said those specific things to him about your fears in terms of health, because this stuff is so serious. I've actually been having a lot of these sort of conversations lately because my mom is dealing with some dental stuff, but she has dementia, and we have to navigate like, how do we get these teeth cleaned without her going under general anesthesia and all this stuff. So like, you are right to be worried about that. It doesn't mean that that's for sure going to happen if he doesn't go to the dentist, but like, blood poisoning is a real thing with teeth.
Absolutely. I had my hip replaced, and every time I go even get a cleaning at the dentist, I have to take antibiotics to make sure that whatever goes back into my gums doesn't poison my hip and then really fuck everything up. So the mouth,
it's real.
So many germs are introduced to the mouth and so much bacteria that it could absolutely happen. Maybe you need to contact a dentist and just have them send you some links, or maybe just actually write out a report of what could happen and show that to your husband. Yeah.
It's so hard when it's a fear, because how do you force somebody to overcome fear? I don't know that this person is like talking about this with a therapist at all. I feel for you, because this is a sensitive thing. And I would imagine, you're being so sweet where you're like, his breath doesn't stink, and like, I don't take issue with this shape and stuff. But a person's mouth is, I think, in a romantic relationship, such a big part of like attraction and sexuality, where like you want to kiss your partner. And if they're not taking care of their mouth at all, that's
visible plaque buildup. That's enough for me to not want to stick my tongue in something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just true.
It's true.
I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just saying visible
it's true.
plaque buildup. It's so easy to take care of that.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to do, I mean, this fear must be so, I don't know how old you are.
Yeah.
I'm in my mid 30s, and I used to watch a show that was in syndication. I never watched the original because I wasn't old enough, but it was called The A-Team. And Mr. T was a character named B.A. Baracus, and he was terrified of flying. But guess what? The A-Team, without B.A. Baracus, was the B-Team. So they needed him on that plane. So they would get behind him, give him a little one of those Jason Bourne neck dealies, psst, and then he would pass out, and then he'd be on the plane, and then he'd wake up and he'd be like, I pity the fool, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe it is going to come down to that. Maybe it's going to come down to, I'm going to give you medication that is going to knock you out. Right. And then a dentist can come here, or we can drag you to the dentist.
Yeah.
All this shit can be done without you even knowing about it. I mean, maybe it does need to be something like that.
Yeah, because there are dentists who do at-home care, and you can talk to your insurance about that. But yeah, maybe that's a conversation. It's like, would you be willing to do it if you got to take a Valium beforehand and just feel like very, very calm? Because, yeah, reading that made me so grateful that you take such good care of your teeth. And like Chad does crest white strips on his own. Oh my God. When I saw you had white strips the first time.
Not always.
It made me so wet. I was like, oh my God, that's so hot that you... Because like a hot smile is a big thing for me, and I just think it's so attractive.
Well, I have a beard, right? That is most of the time darker around my lips, and when I smile, it is like a pretty big reveal, my teeth. And so if they are yellow or discolored or whatever, it's like, try it again. Shut them and try it again.
Try it again.
It almost like those hotel shades where one is just for a sheer shade and the other one is for blackout. It's like, well, do both. I don't want just the sheer. Do both. Get them fucking out of here.
Well, because you're also a coffee drinker, and I think, I don't know, I just really appreciate that you care about that. Because the person who wrote in, you're right. That is one of those things in a relationship that, especially like, let's say they do go to the dentist, but their teeth are stained or whatever. I mean, how do you say that, right? It is so hard to talk about. So if I were you, I would approach this from like a place of concern about his health and him setting an example as a dad, because I think the aesthetic end is maybe gonna be hurtful. I just don't know if it's necessary.
Yeah, and if it comes down to it, if it's no after no after no after no, and you don't want to piano wire him, which I don't actually suggest, get sexy, right? You get handcuff his arms to the bedposts and his ankles, and then he's like, "Where are you going?" You're like, "To get the dentist, motherfucker. He's right outside the door. Relax." You'd be like Vince Vaughn in Wedding Crashers.
Go get in the closet, go get in the closet, go get in the closet, go get in the closet.
Put a sock in his mouth, pull it out. When it's time for the dental work. That's what I would.
That's so funny.
Well, if people aren't going to take care of themselves, sometimes you have to take care of them. I don't know.
I know, that's tough. I'm sorry you're in that position. Thanks for writing in. We hope that that's remotely helpful.
Yeah.
Keep us posted.
Please.
Okay, this next one is titled Selfish ? Or is husband lame as fuck ? This is an interesting one. Okay, it's a little long, but I think it's all worth reading. So they say, hey, Kelsey and Chad, I adore you too. I knew when Kelsey was a guest on Middle of Somewhere, I heard how Chad's voice changed and my love radar was going crazy.
Oh, I've never heard that one before.
Yeah. So satisfying to see I was right. But also, you two are just so fucking cute together and it makes me happy.
It's very nice. Thank you.
It's very nice. Thank you. Anyway, longtime fan of Chad, found Kelsey through him, and girl, we are the same age and on most of the same wavelengths. But please stop bidet shaming women. I use Tushy religiously and I don't have any poo in the cooch issues. I also don't wipe up into my butt crack though. So I don't know what is going on with you down there, LOL. JK, just have to give you shit too. Listen.
Somebody else has some letters. IBS.
Yes, I have some letters. Okay, well, I'm glad. I don't know. It's not like I think for sure that if you use a bidet that poop is going to go toward your vagina. It seems a little like careless, reckless. Like just the stream, you feel like you have to turn it hard enough and then that water's spraying and I don't want that anywhere near my bits.
Can't you like suck it up?
What?
Close it up?
No, that's not how that works.
I don't know. I thought that's what Kegels were for. That's the inside?
Well, yeah, you can Kegel, but it's not like a puppet. Like I can't like close my, I don't know.
You can't purse your, like it.
I didn't know about this. When you're sitting on a toilet.
I understand where the bidet works.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. And I shouldn't have said that my butt crack hurt. That I was being funny. I'm not like wiping all the way to the tippy top of my, I'm not like, there's not like poop up at like the base of my spine.
Well, to be fair, one time I saw a shit mark in between her shoulder blades. She's actually wiping over her shoulder, which is weird to me. She does have long arms, but that's still strange.
Oh my God. I love how every episode we're like, oh, sorry, we talk about poop too much.
But this is introduced in it.
It got introduced.
Objection, Your Honor.
Yes.
We the other lawyer opened the door when they introduced this witness.
Yeah. But listen, I you know what? We're just gonna skip that part. I have to wipe a lot. We've already talked about this. She says, okay, sorry for the bidet sidebar, but my point is I love you both. You both rock. On to my pretend ? Problem. My husband and I have been married for a little over a year, but we've been together for 4 years. We have a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a baby on the way. We were friends first, met at work, fell fast and deep for one another.
Clearly. I did the math.
That's a lot of babies.
You were 3 months in when you got o pregnanto.
Yeah.
That's that word.
Our sex is always amazing. We've never had a bad session. For me, the issue is frequency. My husband is definitely the gatekeeper. He decides when and where and if, and he always gets it when he wants it. I never say no. I'm pretty much always down to fuck, LOL. He, on the other hand, can go weeks. Weeks. I would prefer every day. I'm no pillow princess. I'm not making him do all the work. It's very equitable distribution of labor. You know what I'm saying? In fact, sometimes I beg him to just let me go down on him. I request anal. I definitely am the one who has a higher sex drive. All these women, like last episode where the guy's like, she'll give me a blowjob, but only if she can lick my asshole. And this one's like, I request anal, and he just won't. It's like,
I actually thought maybe this was her writing in.
Yeah. That would all come together. He seems to go through phases, like little bursts of, I need you right now, that lasts a day or two, followed by weeks of nothing. No kissing, no cuddling, denial of anything. In every other aspect, he acts normal. Everything is fine. He's a great dad, not stressed at work. I don't know. Yesterday, I tried to initiate a conversation about it when we'd put the kids down for a nap. I was like, so remember a couple of weeks ago when we were really going at it? What was going right back then to put you in the mood? He shrugs. Okay, how are you feeling now? He said he's just tired and in conservation mode. I was like, well, would you mind if I masturbated since you're not into it? He was like, sure, I don't care. I said, okay, can you take a nap on the couch so I can take care of this? He was like, no, and fell asleep. I feel like this was supremely selfish of him. He loves couch sleeping, especially with the TV on, whereas I need total darkness, a noise machine, and a fan. But I was more worried about a small child wandering out and being traumatized by mommy going to town on herself on the family couch.
I love this. I don't even think it's a question. This is like...
Yeah. So his refusal to compromise made me very irritated. We didn't speak for an entire day. He took the kids out to his parents, and when he came back later, seemed to be in a good mood and chatting like we were all cool. So I said, oh, are you done being shitty to me? And he was like, yeah, because that's what I was doing. Very confused. I was like, what do you think is happening here, LOL? He was like, I know you're mad that I wouldn't sleep on the couch so you could selfishly masturbate. And I retorted with, I thought it was pretty selfish of you to refuse to accommodate me when you're literally creating the reason for the accommodation in the first place. Are we both shits here? Help. Love, Kristen. She says you can use my name. Kristen, this is interesting. This is really interesting.
So here are a couple thoughts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Number one, maybe when you use the bidet, shit is getting into your vagina. How about that? How about maybe you don't know, but how about he does? No, obviously, Kristen, I'm just kidding. So what I think is baby on the way. Is that an issue? Have you talked to him about that? Because some guys get weirded out about that because I've talked to some of my friends when their partners are pregnant and it's like, I don't know. I don't want to. What you got going on there?
I was just checking the time.
Oh, I was about to get a little. Turn this into a OnlyFans. I've talked to them and they say it's weird for them to be in there knowing that a kid is in there too.
Yeah.
Which is like, technically not a kid yet if you follow the rules, but so I don't know if that could be bothering him. I would also be like, no cuddling, no kissing. When I'm not doing that enough, she tells me. She'll just be like, I wouldn't mind some, like, we didn't really kiss a lot yesterday. And sometimes I'm absent-minded. I got a lot on my mind. Mm-hmm. But when she brings it up, I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm right back into focus.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing. So I don't know if you've talked to him about that. Or, maybe next time he wants to go, you blow the whistle. You put the red light up. See what that does. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if going tit for tat here is a good idea, but I'm just throwing out options.
Yeah, I always feel like tit for tat's a slippery slope.
Whoa, you just used 2 in a row.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think from her perspective, I would understand if she was like, well, now I'm feeling resentful that I always say yes to you. You don't know what it feels like to be told no, to like feel that rejection of not wanting to. I agree with you that I think it's because even when you and I, if it's been like a day where we haven't gotten to be as cuddly or kiss as much, it's never like no kissing.
Right. This
sounds like it's pretty hot and cold. Like it will go from I want you right now to just like no physical affection at all, which to me is, I don't feel like that's how it should be.
No, I don't think it should be hot and cold either.
Yeah. So I think everything you have done in that particular situation of like initiating him not being interested, you asking, all right, is it okay with you if I masturbate? If so, like, do you mind napping on the couch so I can do this here? That to me is all like you're communicating a ton. I feel like you're being super respectful, and him then saying, not only going, no, I won't go sleep on the couch, even though clearly he, according to you, that's something he does and enjoys, but then saying that you masturbating was selfish. I don't understand what's going on there for him. Mm-hmm. Like, why would he, to me, that is being shitty and doesn't make sense.
Right. I don't think, may I?
Yeah.
Okay. There was one time where Kelsey wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
And I was so horny. like teenage boy doesn't know where to put it horny.
Is that why our ice maker's not working? Did you fuck the fridge door?
Stop. So she left the room. She had to go do something. And I went in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And then I came out afterwards and she was in bed. And she's like, where were you? And I was like, well, I had to take care of something. She goes, were you pooping? I said, no. And then she figured it out. And you didn't at first really know how to respond. Because I didn't ask, but I'm like, well, I don't think I have to ask permission to do this.
Even her, when I'm saying like she's being super respectful, I don't think that's not like a requirement. I don't think in a relationship to even ask. It's like, if you want to masturbate, you should go masturbate.
If you're like, hey, if you're requesting anal and he's like, no thanks, I'm in conservation mode, you should go in the bathroom and kickstart the biggest vibe. You should really get one going and do it, do it up against the wall so it shakes the house like Poe chomping on his bone.
Yeah. I have zero issue with you masturbate.
I do know that.
I like when you masturbate. I think it's hot and I'm all for that. You never talked about that you did that before. And I don't think I thought that.
You didn't think I did that?
Yeah.
Oh. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Every single one person does.
Every single one person does?
Every single person.
No.
You don't think so?
No, there's tons of people out there who don't masturbate.
I've not met them.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot of like asexual people out there.
Okay. No. Yeah. And do what you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that night, I wasn't going to be able to get to bed.
Okay.
It was like I felt like whatever that thing is you put on the steering wheel so no one can steal the car. I feel like I wasn't even going to be able to roll over. I was like, oh, this is uncomfortable. God damn it. This is uncomfortable.
Yeah. That had not come up in our relationship for some reason. Mm-hmm. Or maybe we had talked about, but you just.
Well, it's not like I walk around the house and do it. It's not like I'm like, hey, what's for dinner? Like walking out.
That's really funny you did that to the pillow because it's just your face like.
Yeah. It's the exact expression I have when I'm masturbating.
Just pondering.
Yeah, so I think you're being very respectful. I just don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Unless it's something weird about you being pregnant. I don't know. But that wouldn't stop the kissing and the cuddling.
Yeah. Feel free to write back to us again, but I would be kind of curious, like, is this the only area of your relationship that you see this sort of like hot and cold? Or have you talked to, I feel like this is often the advice we give for these things is like, have you talked to him about this, like very explicitly, like this is how this makes me feel when I feel like there are these periods where you are completely unaffectionate with me. Can you explain to me why this is happening?
Yeah.
Because I need to know. This feels like a big rejection to me over and over. And then to try to like masturbate and you call me selfish. It's like now we're making new problems here.
Right.
So this is not a pretend problem. I think this is a real problem for sure. So yeah, I'm sorry you're going through that.
Yeah. Best of luck.
Yeah. But you are not in the wrong. You're being real nice. All right. We're going to do one last one and then we're going to wrap it up.
Let's do it.
This is a long one today.
Okay.
This is just titled Question. They say, hey, starting off, wanted to say I'm a huge fan of the podcast. You both are so funny, and it is awesome to see such a down-to-earth couple. I have been a big fan of Chad's for a while and recently saw him in Omaha. It was an awesome show.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was an awesome show, and I will say you looked great, Chad.
That's nice of you. Thank you.
So nice. Through middle of summer, I was introduced to Kelsey. Kelsey's special was amazing and had me laughing so hard I was crying at multiple points. That's so nice. Thank you. As for my question, my wife and I have been married for 10 years and have 2 amazing kids. We both work fairly mentally draining jobs, so between work and kids, we have a hard time being decisive on what to do during couple time. If one of us isn't feeling particularly decisive, we just end up laying around. I imagine your work is also mentally draining, so how do you two manage planning dates to avoid all the responsibility falling on one person? Other notes, yes, the furnace scene in Home Alone was terrifying. Thank you.
That's a deep
I feel
cut.
seen. Additionally, a bit behind, so listening to the cat piss episode, I have a black cat that has also had issues with that. Through the vet, we identified she is a very anxious cat and has been on meds that go in her inner ear. This reduced the inappropriate peeing massively. Thanks. Wow. Interesting. Yeah. Thank you for that heads up.
That's nice.
Yes,
Well, fun dates have fallen on just one person. And
let
me tell you what I think you should do. What happened? I just love how it's like such a down-to-earth couple. Well, guess fucking what? No. Do you have a thing? Do you have an idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone knows I'm kidding, or I would have kept going.
I know, but you do do a ton of really fun date ideas.
So there are times. Let me look in the camera. Mm-hmm. There are times where I will say something when something is bothering me, and I will pass it off as a joke.
Yes.
Let me say publicly, what I just said was not one of those times.
Yeah.
You are very romantic, very thoughtful, this goes both ways.
Yeah,
it's a two-way street.
Yeah. Chad is just very good at it. But, excuse me. So I'm actually going to pull from one of my friends' relationships. She and her husband have sat down and made like a date box, or they have like a container.
Oh my God.
And they sat down one time and wrote out little different date ideas, and then they put them in the date bin. And that way, when they are tired or feeling unmotivated, they just take turns reaching into there. And then it's like, it adds this fun surprise of like, oh, we don't know what we're going to do, but we sat down together and thought of everything that sounds fun to us beforehand. And now it can take out that mental work of like, oh, I don't know what we should do right now.
Right.
So yeah, just a thought.
I love that one. I was going to say make an entire list, and then you could figure out a way to roll dice to figure out what it was. But this is even better. Get your hand in there, fucking feel it around. Now everybody's feeling sexy. I got my hand on something I can't see. I don't know if it should be in there necessarily. I'm floating my fingers around. Oh my God, we're halfway home already and I haven't even picked a date yet. And then you pull out that date real, like you're fucking pulling panties down. You pull that piece of paper out real slow. You shake it a little bit. Shake it. Like a Polaroid picture if you want. And you unwrap it and then you go, fucking Wendy's. We're going to
get
Wendy's.
A Frosty.
Frosties and fries.
Can I tell you one thing to end this episode?
Please.
So back in the Beanie Baby heyday, my mom and I would enter into all kinds of Beanie Baby raffles. That was like the big thing at like Hallmark or wherever they sold Beanie Babies.
So just to recap, you signed up for Beanie Baby raffles and ate mayonnaise sandwiches.
Yes.
And now you have a index finger ring. Yes. Got it. Okay.
I'm going to be going to Woodstock soon. I don't think they still do that, but anyway.
I don't think they do either.
Anyway, so there were all these like Beanie Baby giveaways. My mom, who like you is in Mensa, she would write our information on the little raffle ticket, and then instead of just folding it neatly in half like the rest of them, she would crumple it.
Yeah.
So
Catch
that
a nail, snag a nail.
When people would go in, they'd go, "Ooh, what's this interesting texture?" We won so many goddamn raffles because she is a legit genius.
Yeah, I used to kind of do the same thing. I would fold the corners. I would dog ear the corners and then crumple it up. So then it would definitely catch like it was like a sensory thing on fingertips.
Whoa.
Where they'd go back for it.
Is that what they teach you when you get your Mensa card? They go, also, if you want some free Beanie Babies.
No, when you get your Mensa card, they also send you some shit. They're like, you've also got some more letters. Sorry, but this was a trick.
That was a really funny way to end it. Okay, you guys, pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com to write in. We got a ton more questions still to get to, but please write in.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I'll see you in Salt Lake City this weekend.
I'll see you nowhere this weekend, but the next weekend after that, Nashville, Tennessee.
Whew. All right. Bye, guys.